Are you ready? Let's go.
A quadratic graph isn't that hard because you have seen this, okay, throughout your secondary school. Okay, so to sketch this quadratic graph, okay, we need to follow a few steps. Okay, so if you just follow these few steps, you can easily obtain the final output. So first, okay, of course, we need to go and pay attention to the value of a to know whether is it a happy graph or a sad graph. So here, the value of a is bigger than 0, i.e., I'm going to get a happy graph. That's number one. Number two, it is good that we go and see, okay, whether our graph is going to cut the x-axis or not. For this purpose, okay, we can just go and calculate the value of b squared minus 4ac. Okay, so here our value of b is going to be 2. So 2 squared minus 4, a is 1, c is 3. So I'm just going to ignore the 1. So this is going to be 4 minus 12, so going to be negative 8, which is less than 0, i.e. no root. So it's not going to cut the x-axis. So we don't have to go and find the x-intercept. Number 3, we can find what is our y-intercept. So y-intercept, when x equal to 0, so that is going to give me value of 3, 4. It will be good if we go and find what is our extremum point. Extremum point in our case, either minimum or maximum. So here, since this is a happy graph, we're going to have minimum point. How do we find minimum point? Well, completing the square. So I know many of you don't like completing the square, but then there's no other way. Somehow you have to use your completing the square in order to get this. So fx equal to, so if you don't remember your completing the square, just follow what I'm doing. So every time, please make sure your a is 1. If your a is not 1, then you have to factorize. How do we tackle this kind of problem? I will show you in the next example. So here, I just copy this first. Then plus, my b is 2, positive 2. So normally, it will be b over 2. Then we square. Okay, so here, our b is positive 2. Positive 2 over 2 is 1. So 1 square. So you plus, then you minus. Okay, so when you minus, it's like you equivalent to doing nothing. Okay, then this one plus 3, just follow. So now I'm going to combine certain thing. What is a certain thing? This guy and this guy here. Okay, so I'm going to put that into this bracket. So you see this is 1, right? Positive 1. So here I will put plus 1. If here say you have minus 1, then you put minus 1. Okay. So if you just expand this, you will get these 3 terms. That is how we do completing the square. The rest, I shall just leave it here. So this guy will become minus 1 plus 3. So it's going to be plus 2. So that is our completing the square form. From here, we can easily tell what is our minimum point. So the minimum point here, very simple. Okay. For some of you, okay, who already know how to find the minimum point, I'm very sure you can just read out and say it is going to be negative 1, 2. For those people who are not sure, okay, very simple. All you have to do, just cover here. Okay, cover here. You see whatever that remains, that will be the minimum value. So we can say minimum value equal to 2 when, since you cover this part, right? So you say x plus 1 equal to 0. That will give you x equal to negative 1. So when you want to say the minimum point, you can easily say your x value is negative 1. Negative 1, the minimum value is 2. There you go. That's how I get my minimum point. So I hope you can follow up until the 4th part. Okay, so we already got almost all the ingredients that we need in order to draw the graph. Okay, so I think we can just straight away go and draw our graph. Okay, so where do I try to fit in? This is the problem. We have a very limited space. I want to make sure this still remains. So maybe, okay, I'll just get rid of this. Okay, try to fit it in this region. Okay, so here, okay, so if you just look here, okay, a graph should not be only for this range of x. Okay, meaning you say this is the domain. So I'll just go and stick that in -2 and 1. Okay, so we look one by one. So this is your happy graph. So that's a shape. Okay, nothing. Y, sorry, this is your x-intercept. So it doesn't cut your x-axis. Y-intercept is 3. So I can go and put my 3 there. Minimum point -1, 2. So your 2 is here. This is your -1. So your minimum point will be here. So I just have to go and fit in this guy. It would be good if we go and tell what is our value of y when x is -2 and 1. Okay, so we know where to start and end the graph. So if I just go and put -2 in there, so that is going to be 4 minus 4, 0. So going to be +3. So I'll be here. I'm going to leave it open because it's not included. When I go and put 1, it's going to be 1 plus 2, 3, 3. So it's going to be 6. So I'll be somewhere here. This one I'm going to put it down because it's included. Okay, so your graph, we can go and connect now. So it's going to be something like this. I will go up here. It will cut at 3 and end up like that. So I can proceed and tell, okay, what is the domain and range. So the domain normally, okay, this guy is not there for decoration. This is going to be my domain, okay, and the range we can tell easily, okay, the lowest value to the highest value. So the lowest value here, okay, as you can see, is going to be your 2. The highest value is going to be 6. So I can just go and say the range 2 to 6. This is going to be my domain. Okay, hope that solves the mystery. We meet again. Okay, so here I'm going to show you the second example to sketch the quadratic function. Okay, so as I showed in the previous video, okay, to sketch the quadratic function, we have to follow a few steps. Okay, the first step, okay, we look at the value of a. Here our value of a, as you can see, is negative. Okay, so that would mean a sad graph. Secondly, okay, we need to go and see what is the x-intercept, whether the x-intercept exists or not. So for this, okay, we can go and calculate the value of b squared minus 4ac. Okay, let me grab my calculator. So if we just quickly check, okay, our value of b squared, okay, minus 4ac, we can quickly check that. B squared minus 4ac. So b is -4 square minus 4. A is -2. C is 5. Okay, if we just quickly calculate that. So 16 plus with this is going to be 40. Yeah, 40. So that is going to be 56, bigger than 0, meaning to say there is going to be 2 real roots. Okay, if we just factorize that, okay, as you are watching, you can do this. Oh, it's going to be some decimal numbers. So your x is going to be some 0.87 and -2.87. Okay, I hope I got that right. Yeah. Okay, and thirdly, we can go and work out our value of y-intercept. Y-intercept when x equal to 0. So that is going to be 5. Next, okay, we can also work out what is our maximum point, because this is a set graph, so definitely it has something called maximum point. So it is an opportunity for us, okay, to go and do our completing the square. So as I mentioned to you just now, okay, or in the previous video, okay, we must make sure our a is +1. If we don't have, then we need to factorize first. So this is what we should have. Now 5, you no need to disturb. We do completing the square inside. So it'd be x squared plus 2x plus 1 squared minus 1 squared plus that. So now I need to combine a few things. This guy and this guy we're going to combine. This one we can push it out. So it's going to become x plus 1 squared. This is going to be -1 times with -2, you're going to get +2 plus 5. So we're going to get -2 x plus 1 squared plus 7. So from here, we can easily tell what is our maximum point. As some of you, okay, who are very good in stating this, okay, I'm sure you can tell the maximum point going to be -1 and the y coordinate going to be 7. So we already have all the ingredients. We can go and sketch the graph that we want. Okay, so the problem here is the space. Okay, so maybe I shall just go and put the graph here. So we will scan through one by one. Okay, so this is just the shape. Okay, you're going to cut at these two places. So 0.87 going to be here. This is going to be your -2.87. Y-intercept is going to be 5. So I'll be here. Your maximum point -17. Oh, that's going to be quite high. Yeah, still within our frame. So this is 7, -1. So -1, you're going to be here. So this is going to be our maximum point. Okay, so I've already put everything in there. So now it's just a matter of us putting the shape together. There you go, guys. Okay, you're going to get a nice shape. So make sure, okay, what you draw is a nice symmetrical quadratic curve. Okay, so for completeness again, we can go and tell what is the domain and range. So the domain, okay, as you can see here, the graph exists throughout. Okay, so I can tell, okay, the domain is going to be -infinity to infinity, and the range always from the lowest value -infinity to the highest value, which is 7.